Three, two, one. Hi, I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Today, I want to talk a lot about ad agency stuff. Big time ad agency stuff. So if you're out there, say hello. If you're an agency guy, say hello. Okay? And now I'm watching things. I gotta think here. Gotta switch over to Windows Capture. Okay, and a couple of big news stories. Brent Bissell called me this morning and he said, "Did you hear about quad graphics?" And I said, yes, no. I've heard a lot about quad graphics, but Quad's been making some major reorganization changes. I first encountered Quad when I was selling printing in the late 70s and got an invite over to their plant in Pewaukee, Wisconsin. That's not a made-up name. And I watched them producing magazines, bound and stitched and out the door in one big, a roll of paper goes in one end and out the other end comes a magazine, addressed even. And I was just astounded. And I've had a, up and down relationship with Quad. I decided I could help them with their data and with their modeling, and I could increase the circulation. And I've increased Quad clients. We took Adobe, one of their catalogs, from 500,000 to 1 million a month in about 6 months. We just rocketed it into, the stratosphere. We kept Musician's Friend mailing. That was about 500,000 a month. We kept him going through the Great Recession, and I thought that was a major accomplishment. We got Lovesac doing more mailing and got that integrated. I think we did more for them than we did for Quad. But the point is that the printing industry, and I've said this for decades really, the printing industry needs to be at the forefront of communication with clients. And direct marketing and direct mail. We have this article over here. I've been meaning to get to this article. But what it says is that direct mail suffers from lack of measurement, which of course is crazy. Because if you look at what we did for Musician's Friend or for Lovesac, what we did was holdout tests. And what we showed them was that the catalog was worth hundreds of % of return on investment, if not more. I think Lovesac in the last holdout we did was 900% ROI to bottom line profit, EBITDA, basically. And so mail has the advantage of getting your attention enough that you know that somebody saw it. All the other digital stuff in the world, you don't know if the person was watching it or not. You don't know if there was any registration in their brain or not. Okay, with mail you do. Now it's very expensive, I will grant that, but you get a commensurate bump in awareness. And so then, if you combine that with direct marketing techniques, you have the most powerful research tool. And it scares me that that the direct marketing agency never understood that, and I don't know if Quad understands it or not. But one of the things I thought was funny. Here's what the president of Periscope, who they bought, said, "Quad allows us to accelerate the creation of the agency of the future by removing silos to help our clients seamlessly move from idea to execution. Brand owners have been very receptive to this approach because it provides fully integrated marketing solutions at scale and speed they require." Okay, I don't know if you know this, but you can actually go over here and check out the readability, datalize.com. You paste that in, and you can find out overall readability 13.49. 10 is hard to read. That's what it says here. 10 is hard. Okay? They're almost to 15. 15 is difficult. Okay? Now, the question I've got is, would you want that lady writing your copy? This is the scary part, is that I'm all in for printers understanding their clients' customers' communication and who it makes sense to contact. The trouble is the ad agencies don't. And now you just spent $130 million. You could have got me for half of that. You still could. Anyway, Joel, so if you're out there, or if anybody of you know Joel, send us to him. Say hi. Say, Joel, you need to get it right. It's not enough to just buy somebody who uses big words. That is not going to cut it. Okay, so back to this. Just thought you'd get a kick out of that. Okay, now in the same light, I think this is connected up. Mark Reed just pushed together this J. Walter Thompson. I found that they weren't just in the 20s; they were in the 1870s. They were founded. Okay, they're 154 years old. J. Walter Thompson, and previously he had apparently merged Young and Rubicon, Y&R, with VML. I never heard of VML. But Wonderman, this is the greatest part. Wonderman, a change like this will probably be helpful, said Brian Weiser. Traditional creative agency networks have struggled to provide comprehensively integrated offerings. This is another one we should, never mind, I don't like. But down here, whoop, J. Walter Thompson is a great name, but a lot of baggage. But listen to this. A more streamlined agency which combines data, digital, and direct marketing skills. Wonderman. Wow! Didn't I tell you Les Wonderman was a genius? He's one of the guys that got it. And he used that in the agency world to power his clients. And so did David Ogilvy. Ogilvy, read his Confessions of an Ad Man. He figured out what was going on. He worked for Gallup for a while, and he said he was always fascinated by the mail order guys because they could tell what was going on. This is the message we have from the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Direct Marketing, for Strategic Marketing. We call it that to be under the radar. Our message is, if you knew the power that was available to you, you could revolutionize the world for your clients. And sadly, you don't. Okay, now, this one, it says, came from the DMA's Data Activation and Success Report, but it looks like Lotomy.com did the study, 300 senior decision makers in digital media, 96%. Doesn't this sound like global warming? 97% of scientists agree. Yes, right. 97%, 96% of digital marketers think digital data is important. Well, duh, or you wouldn't be in it. I'd like to know who the let's see, 300, that's 3 times 4, the 12 people were that didn't think it was valuable. Sorry, but that just struck me funny. Anyway, but the audience data is still under-leveraged. Why? Because nobody knows how to turn data into money. Because the people that have the data don't know anything about making an offer and selling something. Remember yesterday we were talking about how the key to fixing all your omni-channel baloney is try to sell something. Get on the phone, call some customers, see what they have to say. Keep track, change your offer. A-B split. A-B does not mean necessarily 2 offers. It means you're sending something to every other one. Could be blue versus pink for all you care. It doesn't have to be the offer that's changing. Could be the type size. You know, I did a project for Billy Graham once, and we found out their market was like little old ladies, little widows for annuities. And if the type size went below 8 or below, they got no responses whatsoever. It's like, you'd think you could figure that out, but they weren't really paying attention. They'd run an ad, and then they'd see what happened, and then run another ad and see what happened. You know, that's not the way to do it. That's not A-B. That's still, you get something out of it. That's why they hired me to figure out their data. Okay, so here's a big story. We're just on the downside here. FBI indicts 8 people in the first major ad fraud case handed over to the feds, although they cite one previously in 2016. And I love this part. Alexander Zhukov, Boris Timokov, Mikhail Andreev, Denis Andreev, Dmitry. Anyway, I don't want to sound racist or nationalistic, but it looks like I could guess what country they're in. Or at least the neighborhood that they're in. And it doesn't sound like, I hate to pick one. I won't. Anyway, $16 billion in ad fraud. This was interesting. You went down here. Google had to keep spending advertiser money on the fraudulent activity, which apparently they could somehow identify, and then reimburse the brands out of his own pocket. Why? Because they wanted to keep gathering evidence. Yeah, all right. Yeah, but how much do they make a year on this fraud? You know, it bumps up the price they're charging all their customers. The ad fraud benefits Google. And so now they get kudos for helping the FBI reduce their fees a bit. What a world we live in. Have a great day. Like and share. Great to see you online. You can comment on this thing. You can send messages to me. Not that I will read them, but I might. You never know. If there's something you'd like to talk about, come early. We start 5 minutes early, and we start 5 minutes early, and you can